Okay, testing, testing. If you can hear me, please type Y or yes in the chat box. If you can hear me, please type Y or yes in the chat box. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Give me a second. I'm gonna make sure not only the partner group, but also the customer group are linked in as well. Okay, perfect. All right, give me 1 second. Why am I so grainy? I need some more light. 1 second. Okay, that should be a little bit better. All right, you guys can see my ugly face a little bit clearer now. Okay, so how's everybody doing out there? And forgive me, I know for the past month or so, you guys noticing I've been actually doing my hangouts in my kitchen because my man cave is actually getting remodeled. I'm about to add a full-blown home office in one of the corners there. So I want to make sure all that is getting set up because this is the year to blow up. Okay, this is the year to make things happen. I hope each and everybody had a wonderful holiday. Spent time with family and friends and all that good stuff out there. Forgive me because right after this meeting, I'm about to go straight to the gym. I should be crazy because it's like in the teens. Okay, it's in the teens up here in Chicagoland. All right, I don't know what the weather is anywhere else, but it is cold. Okay, up here in Chicagoland, but I got to make it happen. This weekend, I will be pushing almost 40, and I want to make sure I go in it with optimal health, Lord willing. All right. So first and foremost, again, welcome to everybody to our first hangout of the year. For those of you who are new, welcome to the team. My name is Chris McCoy, Senior out of Chicagoland area. I am one of the top team marketing groups coaches here for Infinii. For you guys probably seen me do a couple trainings before, or also you might see my face on the sales page of Infinii. So again, I'd like to pretty much welcome each and everybody to this wonderful opportunity. Today won't be pretty much, it's pretty much going to be nothing but updates. I'm not going to go into much training or until later on throughout the month. All right. But first and foremost, I want to make sure that, hey, I want to just say, hey, send positive vibes and prayers. I've just received a message. I think something bad has happened in New York, some type of train wreck or something like that. So hopefully people that you know, and hopefully the people that's in my team and in your team out in the New York area, hopefully everybody is fine out there. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm over here checking back and forth on my messages. Let's make sure is there anybody that I personally know who was part of that accident. Okay, so first and foremost, let me get my agenda together. Am I coming in much clearer now? Okay, much clearer. Everybody could hear me very well. Gotta hydrate. Okay, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to go over tonight. All right, so again, I won't be keeping you guys for long. I know it's kind of getting late out there in the East Coast, so let's go ahead and get this party started. I'd like to say first and foremost, congratulations to the rank ups. I believe Juvie out of from the DMV area, and also Alex. Alex, I'm not sure. I know you're in the East Coast somewhere, but I'm not sure what part of the East Coast just slipped my mind. But congratulations to those two for hitting the rank of manager. You know, from utilizing our rewards plan. So hey, keep it up with that. That's pretty much one of the. Oh, also, oh my goodness, I can't forget my girl Renee. All right, Renee out of Denver, Colorado. Thank you. I mean, congratulations to each and every one of you who hit that milestone rank. So hey, just keep it up. Keep sharing the opportunity. Keep leading in with documentation. If it's working for you, people are going to know more about it, and then they go ahead and join you for that. Okay. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, okay, now this we're in the year of 2017. It's time to really start setting what your goals are for the end of the year. Okay. Some of you, or most of you, who took advantage of last year, of the year 2016, you know, you guys finished Q4 in great fashion. All right. Now it's time to scale it up a notch. What do you want it to really accomplish within this year within the e-commerce? Do you want to, you know, go from the prime? You've been on prime level all year of 2016. Now you're ready to go to scale up with surge. You've been on surge level all year 2016. Now you want to scale up to Excel. You want to start going into private label. You want to start going to white labeling and things of that nature. All right. So, I mean, start setting your goals right now. Okay. You got to make sure you plan to work so you can work your plan. All right. Otherwise, you're just going to be in the water rowing. You don't know which direction you want to go. All right. So everybody start setting your goals. You know, your goals, I can't just give you, you know, I may have my expectations for you, but each and everybody's goals are different. You know, some people might look at this as a, you know, to fund their dreams, whatever that may be. Might be open up their own boutique or their salon. They want to use the power of e-commerce and Forex and what have you in order to achieve that. Everybody's goals are totally different. But the one key thing is that you got to make sure that you write this stuff down so you can always put it in the universe and have it planned out so you can go forth and take action and complete those goals. All right. The next thing I want to go over is setting up for growth. All right. Setting up with growth, which means that when you're brand new or you're already in, each and every one of you should have the Get Started Fast documentation. All right. Time management is key. All right. I said this in plenty of times. All right. If you're you can't want to make $10,000 with $1 work ethic. Okay. You can't want to make $100,000 in a year and have a $5 work ethic. Okay. So make sure that you are using time management. Okay. And make sure you set, not only you're setting goals, but you're also setting realistic goals. All right. You don't have to always, you know, try to knock it out the park in order to accomplish what you're really trying to accomplish. All right. I put up a post on my wall earlier today, and it was all about getting started. All right. And the thing of it is, ladies and gentlemen, is that a lot of people would try to eat an elephant, as I put it, all right, like a cartoon, all in one gulp. Okay. And as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to find that passage right there. Okay, here it is. It said this. Mark Twain said this. Okay. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming task into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one. Okay, so don't be trying to swallow a Dumbo all in one bite. Okay, hey, on Mondays, grab your little elephant toe. On Tuesday, nibble on some little elephant ear or whatever kiss it is. All right, that's what the Get Started Fast training is all about. It puts you guys on a manageable timeline or blueprint, if you will, you know, to say, okay, on this day I could work on this, on that day I could work on that, on this day I could work on this, on that day I could work on that. All right. So make sure that you're also putting that, guys, into forth action. All right. Also for growth, what are your goals that are in e-commerce? All right. If you're working on eBay, make sure that you are applying all the tips and the training that is showing into your training, whether that be Prime, Surge, or whatever the case it may be. All right. Make sure that you are following that eBay map. Okay. That is crucial. All right. Because it gives you pretty much a breakdown as far as how many listings do you need to complete, from what type of suppliers, you know, et cetera, et cetera. All right. You follow that blueprint to the T, you will start yielding results that you have there with eBay. All right. Also Amazon. Okay, I want to touch up a little bit on this later on with Amazon. All right, Amazon is like the big daddy. Okay, like you said, but even though you can make big money, you're gonna have some big problems if you don't manage it effectively. All right, which I will be going over later on that topic. All right, so okay, what are your goals for growth in Amazon? Okay, last year, okay, Chris, man, I ended with a $10,000 in sales year, or I ended with $50,000 in sales years, or $80,000, or $100,000 in sales year, or what case it is. All right. Some people say you're only as good as your last day, or last month, or last week, or whatever the case it is. Use that as a milestone. Use that as a what I'm thinking about. What's the word I'm thinking about? Use that as a a stepping stone, if you will, okay, that you can go for. All right. Okay. Last week I did, $1,500 in sales. Okay. I want to hit that, and I want to do $2,000 in sales this week. And what are you going to do to accomplish that goal? I need to go over trainings. I got to make sure that I'm listing things that are seasonal and trendy, et cetera, et cetera. All right. You're putting forth action on those type of requirements. Okay. Bonanza. Okay. Are you scaling up your Bonanza business? Are you listing everything that you have, not from your eBay, but also on your Amazon, so you can have not only one eye on that particular item or product, but you have 3 eyes from three different platforms on that one particular product. All right. And last but not least, everybody, don't forget about the marketplace. The marketplace is just like another supplier that we have here with Infinii. All right. Don't sleep on that marketplace, because they got some hot stuff going on. I just noticed last week that and I should have, even myself, when I have a lot of stuff going on, training reps, taking calls, doing this, doing that, personal business, personal, all these things going on. Sometimes I too forget. Okay, it does happen. All right. I sold an item and that I got from a supplier, and come to find out I could have got it from my marketplace with a hell of a lot cheaper. All right. So don't sleep on the marketplace. Make sure that you are using all those type of tips and tricks for your efforts. All right. Now, next thing I want to go over is our Surge membership. Okay. Some of you are doing some great things. You guys are scaling up. You're rocking out on Prime and things like that. One of the things I tell people is that, don't be complacent. Don't be comfortable. All right. There's a saying out there. I forget who said it. Some type of entrepreneur about, when you become, not only procrastinating, but when you become complacent. When you become, okay, hey, I'm comfortable where I'm at, and that's where I'll stay, or whatever kiss it is. You don't want to do that, especially if you want to become a true entrepreneur. You always want to go for bigger and better things, scaling up. Otherwise, McDonald's will always stay as a darn, what was that? Well, they got a movie coming out, which I gotta go see. I believe it's called The Founders. All right, make sure you write that down. The Founders. I highly recommend people go watch that movie. It's a new movie with Michael Keaton, and he plays as Wade Kroc. One of the guys who built McDonald's, if you will. Okay, so it's called The Founders. All right, so if that been the case, then the McDonald's would have just stayed as a darn ice cream or shake shop or whatever. I believe that's the story is. All right, no, now they got beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes, lamb. Now I'm just playing. All right, now they got hamburgers, fries, chicken, salad, apple pie, McRib. Okay, I think at one point in time they had like an actual fried chicken. Okay, so I mean, see, that's like we got people thinking abroad on those type of scales. That's the same thing what these entrepreneurs and these innovators are doing. That's the same way that you got to do within your business. All right, and your yes, in your business. Okay, so with Surge, Surge is pretty much like the nucleus of Infinii. Okay, especially for those who are very Amazon focused. Okay, because they have all the tools and everything that is really required to really scale up your business or what have you. All right, and I always recommend people like, hey, listen, hey, work your Prime. Once you get your money up and once you become consistent doing whatnot, bump up to Surge, because Surge is pretty much where it's at. That's going to pretty much eliminate any type of pitfalls that you may run into, which I'll be explaining going into now. All right. And one of those pitfalls that, I'm seeing and I'm noticing and I'm hearing, for reps is that, first, when you get in this business, you got to make sure you ship what you could afford. All right. Don't be coming here and think you got to sell, $200 pair of shoes, so you can make $20 and stuff like that. No, I could find items for $15 and sell it for, $35, $40, $50 to make that. All right. You don't have to list big ticket items to make big money in. Hold on, I think I froze for a minute. All right, I'm still here. Okay. See me? I think I chopped up a little bit. All right, there I go. All right, so ship what you can afford. One of the things I'm about to share with you right now. Okay, I'm about to share something with you right now. All right, I just sold an item in here because I want to make sure that I don't reveal anything. All right, give me 1 second. All right. All right, I have this item right here I just sold today. As you can see, hold on, let me see if I could bring that in. And it may be backwards, so I apologize right there. So, okay, they sold for today. All right, January 4th. All right, price I sold it for $23 plus. They're going to give me an extra $5, $4.49 for shipping. All right, so my total earnings is going to be $22 and some change. All right, now check this out, $22 and some change. Okay, it's time for my infamous screen share. All right. Okay, that very same item that I sold for $22 and I made $22.38. It's selling for $12.99. All right. And plus, I'm part of this program, so I don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that. So we give or take. I'm looking at between $7 to $9, in profit. All right, $7 to $9 profit. And like I stated, that this item sold 8 times today. All right, 8. All right, 8 times. So let's just say for a low number, let me just say $7. Okay, that's $56 effortlessly made. All right. That's $56 effortlessly made take home. All right. So that's one of the trainings that you guys got to really make sure you pay attention to, when you're, doing this thing. All right. You don't need the big ticket items, to do real big things with this company. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. Testing. All right. I think I'm still up. Okay. There it is. All right. So, again, ship what you can afford. Now, I always tell people, 80 to 90% of the time, my items is usually less than $20. If you follow the training, especially when you get to the surge level, you'll be able to find items, that cost you $1 or less, and it's selling for $10, $15, $20. Okay. So, I mean, that's one of the things about how when they say that members have its, privileges. All right. Another thing about surge, especially your Amazon focus and whatnot, you don't have to worry about if an item goes out of stock or the price changes or whatever the case it is, because the system's going to automatically adjust that for you, so you're not missing out on money. All right. Let's see. Also, another thing is another pitfall is that, you got to make sure you ship things on time. All right. I believe I sent you guys a training about how to adjust your handling time, which is called production in Amazon. All right. If you can't do 2 days, then you could change it to 3 days. Just go to the production field and put it in 3 or put it in 4 or wherever the case it may be. All right. So you got to make sure that you ship on time. Okay. Or Amazon's going to grab the darn ruler of theirs and they're going to pop you on your darn wrist, and your health starts to decrease. All right. Another thing, and this is huge, I have received, I believe, 2 reps for the past couple of weeks who ran into situations like this. All right. Do not make any arrangements. All right. I want to make sure I put this up here for my notes. All right. Do not make any arrangements with customers, even if they email you through, eBay or Amazon or wherever the case it is. All right. If something goes down and the customer ends up saying, I want a refund or whatever case it is, Amazon's going to be, they don't go to the favor of the customer. What is you talking about, Chris? All right. Let's just say that a customer bought a brown chair from you. Okay. They bought a brown chair from you. You don't have any more brown chairs. You have red chairs. Okay. And then you sent an email or you corresponded with the customer saying that, hey, I have a substitute for you. I have a red chair, but I don't have any more brown chairs. Is that okay? All right. Now, if the customer agrees to something like that, what you want to do is this. All right. What you want to do is create a new listing. Create a new listing and put up a red chair. Okay. If your supplier has it, put up a red chair. Don't try to, keep everything as is, then go find a red chair and you send it to the customer or whatever the case it is, and then you're going to run into problems. Customers, hey, not all of them is going to be honest. All right, they're going to be saying, even though they may agree to the red chair, but all they have to do is, if they know what they're doing, is tell Amazon, hey, I didn't order a red chair. I ain't get nothing. All right, I didn't get anything or whatever the case is. But guess what? Amazon can't track all of that because you never created a new listing. So it can't be tracked. It's all shearsay. Does that make sense? All right, it's all hearsay. There's no documentation. There is no trail other than what they say and everything. But according to Amazon or eBay or anything else like that, there's no paper trail. Meaning there's no listing saying that, hey, this seller sold a red chair to this customer. Okay, all they're going to see is this. Okay, this customer bought a brown chair from the seller. The seller didn't fulfill it, even though you made an alternate switch and send them a red chair to take the place of the brown chair, if that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. All right, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. I had a couple reps, who lost some money because they took the customer service thing, above and beyond. It's not their fault because they was like, what? Hey, I'm going to help this customer out. I'm going to find an alternative solution for this customer. But like I said, not all customers are going to be, are honorable like that. All right. So if you run into a situation like that, instead of if a customer brought a brown chair, but you didn't have it, but you only have red chair, create a brand new listing for the red chair and do the same thing. Give the customer your URL or the link or whatever the case it is so they can buy it from you so you can get credit. All right. And then have the customer cancel out the original order. Then everything will be hunky-dory. All right. For all details, if you want me to go more into detail with that, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on with this. Make sure you feel free to inbox me on that. All right. So hopefully everybody can get that. Sounds good with people. All right. Now, and another thing is, and last but not least about the pitfalls, do not get comfortable with one supplier. All right. There are so many different suppliers that's out there, and also make sure that, cost is not always a major factor when you're selling things on these platforms. Okay. Let's think about it. When you go to these platforms, do you not be seeing the same items sold way more? So it's not always, again, cost is not always a major factor along with that. Okay, about 4 or 5 months ago, I proved that theory about an item that I sold, which was way more expensive than one of the items that was listed on Amazon. But just because I lived in Chicago and the customer lived in Indiana, they bought from me because they feel that, like, hey, they'll get to me quicker than me buying from this person who lives in California. All right. Remember, not everybody think the same way. Have the same buying habits. Not too many people's going to be doing a whole thorough research when they buy something. You have compulsive buyers. That means when the new thing comes out, boom, they breaking out the credit cards. All right, they broke out the credit cards and go ahead and buy on the spot. All right, that's why I be laughing when I see people huddle up in tents, okay, spending night around campfires in front of the darn Apple buildings and the Samsung buildings, waiting for that next iPhone 10 or the Samsung Galaxy version Roman numeral 10 phone or whatever case it is. When if they were to wait a week or so, they could get it from eBay or Amazon and save a couple to a few $100s. People don't have the same buying habits, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So with that, again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm rolling along here. This is just pretty much just a quick little update about the plans and what we have going on to spark off 2017. All right. Rewards plans. This is for the partners and stuff like that. Make sure you guys, especially for you who are brand new to partners, okay, if you want to start team building and whatnot, please make sure you look at the compensation plan training, which is in your back office. All right, it's going to be partners. It's going to say comp plan training, 2-step process, and you'll be able to find out how we get paid and how much we get paid, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Let's see. Actually, no, I guess I could pause for a second right now. All right. Before I reveal stuff. Do I have any questions so far real quick? Do I have any questions about what I just covered? All right. I'll give it about a couple minutes because we're almost at the end. Do I have any questions? And also, yeah, type your questions in the chat box because I am unable to see, and I still haven't figured this out yet. If you guys are posting in the chat on YouTube. So okay. Yeah, come on. If you have to post it in this, because I can't see. I still haven't found out how I read notes in this live chat thingy. If you had post a question, then put it in the chat groups, not in the YouTube chat group, because I don't know how to look that up or whatever. Let me look. Hangout toolbox, cool effects. Oh, wait a minute. Did I find it? Uh-oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. Is this it? No. I'm saying something like. Okay. Hold on. I think. What's this? No, that wasn't it then. I thought this was it. I wish they had. Yeah, I wish they had something. Anyway, apologize for that. I thought I saw something. It must have been something else. Okay, so moving forward. All right. Okay. At first, I was going to use this for my partners, but I kind of realized that, you know, partners and those who are customers in Infinii, I can actually use this technique as well. And I call it the IBM Tactic. All right. And I was going to say, okay, what is it? You know, like, what does it stand for? IBM stands for incentive-based marketing. All right. I used this tactic a long time ago when I was part of a company back in 2012. And it was a network marketing company. And when I had signups, you know, I would reward them with something, you know, and with that particular reward or incentive I was given was like a 3-day, 2-night vacation at a specific, you know, place or location or wherever case it is. I really can't remember, but I know I handed them a brochure, which was a good for a 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel for the brochures and the list of the hotels that it qualified for. All right. The bad thing about that is because it had like little blockout dates. You know, they could only retrieve that during certain times and certain days throughout the year and things like that. However, it was effective. Okay, it was effective. Why? Because it showed value. Okay, it showed value along with that. So I was only going to use this for the partners who's part of Infinii. You know, but I thought about something. I started using it myself in the way that I want to introduce it to you guys. And I was like, you know what? And I noticed my sales, you know, start picking up. Okay, especially on Bonanza side. All right, so what I'm going to do is pretty much introduce you to you guys about what is this incentive-based marketing? What is this little secret thing that, you know, Chris was talking about? I have about 30 to 40 people who took advantage of that. Out of that, I probably believe, you know, less than half of that, you know, less than half of them is in Infinii, because the other people that I presented it to, they found it useful to their particular business or to wherever they were doing. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick video to show you guys about this awesome tool that I'm using, you know, to bring in not only more customers from a Infinii standpoint or partners, if you will, but also more customers buying my products from my Amazon, Bonanza, and eBay platform. All right. So give me 1 second. And I am about to share my screen. Okay.
Having a $200 gift that you could give to anyone at any time for free. And what if that gift was good towards booking hotels and resorts anywhere in the world? Introducing the Good Life VIP card, the gift that gives back to you. Simply follow the instructions on the back of your $200 VIP card to activate your card. Then choose a destination and the dates you want to travel. Your $200 gift never expires and can be used anytime you want. There are no blackout dates, no special commitments required, and nothing to sign up for. It's a free gift, and there are no strings attached. But here is the real exciting part. The only thing better than receiving this free $200 gift is being able to give it away and then receive $100 cash for yourself. Yeah, here's how it works. You simply give away $200 VIP cards to everyone you know, and when they use it, you receive $100. The cards only cost you 20 cents each, and when your friends, customers, and clients activate and use their $200 gift, $100 comes back to you every single time. So think about all the exciting ways this can be used. Give a $200 gift as a promotional incentive for your clients or customers. So imagine an auto dealer announcing a $200 giveaway to the first 100 people who come take a test drive during an end of the month push. What do you think would happen to their sales productivity on this promotion? Or imagine an insurance agent giving away a $200 gift card when they do a new policy review. Do you think that this could help improve their client relations? Yeah, you bet it can. You can even give the card as a gift to just say thank you to your loyal customers. Use it to prospect new customers, or use it as a referral bonus. Or better yet, use it as a fundraiser for your church, a charitable foundation, or even for your local high school football team. Just ask for a small donation of say $10 or $20 in exchange for a $200 VIP card, which they can use towards travel anywhere, anytime, while at the same time supporting their community or cause. If the group or organization sells just 500 cards at a donation of say $10 each, that would generate $5,000. I mean, the possibilities here are endless. And each time someone checks into a hotel and uses their free gift, you get to collect $100 in addition to the cash donations you've already raised. You can also get co-branding on your VIP cards. Add your unique brand or logo to the Good Life $200 VIP cards so you can receive advertising and exposure for your business, your charities, and sports teams. What do you think this can do for your referral rates? And here's another idea. How would it feel to get paid to travel? Now you can spend a weekend at your favorite resort handing out $200 VIP cards while enjoying a cocktail at the pool, or handing out $200 VIP cards while taking a cruise with people just like you who love to travel. How many cards would you give away? 100? 500? 1,000? Well, multiply your answer by $100. That's right, the money that comes back to you each time the $200 VIP card is used. It's all part of what we call living the good life. Ask the person who shared this video with you how you can get started giving and living the good life today.
Wow. You know, every time I see that darn video, I get like chills up. I mean, my goosebumps all on my darn arm right there. All right. And this thing right here is very phenomenal because, you know, when I first seen it, you know, I just thought about, you know, oh man, I didn't want to feel like, you know, I just had the whole mind concept as far as, okay, do I need to be a travel agent and stuff like that? Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. Because one of the stories that I've done, one of my Amazon customers is actually is doing this. She bought something from my store, my Amazon store, and when I tried this out, this is how the cards look like. It looks like almost like a cover my code here. It looks just like a little credit card, something you could put in your wallet, your bill folder, some sort, and it has the directions and stuff on the back. All right. So one of my Amazon customers has bought something from me from my store, and I sent her a message via my back office. I was like, you know what? Hey, thank you for your purchase or whatnot. As a token of my appreciation, I would like to send you a $200 travel gift card or what have you. And she was ecstatic about that. All right. I would probably say when I shipped her item out, remember, I already have her address. So I sent her out a message with a little envelope and stuff like that with some instructions on it and whatnot. And and I also put in my contact information, my business phone number. And also if people wants to reach me on my social web, I also put in my my Facebook link, website, and all the other good stuff. So she reached out to me and she's like, Chris, you know, I like to say I thank you for this because, you know, come to find out, not only that she was a good customer, I believe that what she bought had something to do with her business. All right. So, and she does catering. All right. She does a lot of catering, and she also travels a lot as well. And I believe she said that she had like some type of expo or meeting or something that was going on for her church. And she was going to Orlando, which she's in there now, down there right now. And she spent like, I think she said like over $400 something on that. And I was like, wow, you spent like $400 on that? And I was like, okay, that must be your flight and your room. She's like, no, my flight was $263. So I'm over here trying to count in my head, like, goodness gracious. I'm like, wait a minute, can I ask you, like, okay, where were you staying at? All right, she's like, you know what? And she showed, and she was sending me pictures about this is how much I was paying. I spent like $463 for a 3-day stay in Orlando. But when I used this card here, it went from $400 something down to $100. And I think she's paid $123, $127. Same room, same length of time, and how much money that she saved. And the cool thing about it is that whatever she saved, I got 50% of that. All right. Whatever she saved, I got 50% of that, which was very cool. So not only I made profit from the Amazon sale, but I extended my profit range alone for the customer using these cards. All right. So Chris, how does this tie into the e-commerce? Now, I'm not going to be going over about how to market this and market that because the focus is on e-commerce right now. All right. So what I am going to show you pretty much what I've done or what I do when I list an item. Okay. So let me do a quick screen share right quick. All right. Let me make sure I get all my tools and things together. And I know I didn't access it for a while, so it might take a minute to log back in and everything. I'm going to do a simple example listing real quick. All right. Now, I'm about to go through the flow as far as if I'm listing something on, I'm going to do it on Amazon, and then I'm going to do it from Amazon. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to put it on Bonanza. Okay. So hopefully there is no hiccups along with that. All right. So again, if you're brand new to this, some of you are brand new, don't try to follow this or as training whatnot, because we already have step-by-step training about what I'm doing right now. All right. So one of the items, I think I actually have this up and running. Okay. I'll use this as an example. All right. This little Shopskin Season 4 Fashion Pack Tropical Collection. All right. Let's see. One of my items are suppressed. And also, here's another note. I believe some of you guys during the last of 2016, you can now start listing. You can now start listing toys and games, because I know I had some reps was saying that they was restricted with that. Now that restriction has lifted because the holidays is over with. So now you can go back to listing the toys and game stuff. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list this item right here on Amazon, and I'm not only going to list it on Amazon, but I'm also going to list it on Bonanza. Okay, so I'm just going to go through like what I really do. So if I'm quiet, I'm still here. You'll be seeing my mouse move. 15, 17. Drop that price down. So remember the production time. Watch this. See what I did right there? I'll just say statues. So if there's two people selling this very same thing at the very same price, and when they go on details and they happen to see a big old exclamation or asterisk or a big old disclaimer on there saying, hey, if you buy from my store, you're going to get a free $200 travel gift card. Which one of those stores you think they're going to buy from? My store or the other person selling the same thing with no added value to it? Absolutely. Uh-oh. I have a feeling it's going to do that. Let me try one more thing. And what I might end up doing, I might end up doing a video to show this in its entirely of how this will work. And the beautiful thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this card has very great rates. I mean, phenomenal rates. Okay, there we go. We in. All right, it has phenomenal rates. If the rates wasn't so good, this concept, this tactic wouldn't even work. All right, I have to save so many people money just for, you know, the whole travel piece, because they love to see the value along with that. So can you imagine if somebody's in your store? Hold on, let me see. Shopping season 4, fashion pack. I'll probably take that out. Play with the keywords a little bit. Cheap toy. Yep. Figurine. If my screen is blurry, you might need the. Hold on, let me see something right quick. Nope, it's not. Yep, everything's up. So you may need to adjust your signal. Your signal will be up, your bandwidth usage. You might need to adjust that right there. So, okay, cheap toy, shopping, fashion pack, tropical collection, blah, blah, blah. All right, so use this for toys and hobbies. And I'm just going to put action figure on there. Just keep it simple. Other. All right. Condition. New. Let's see if Brandon on there. Let's see. They don't have Stockings on there. No, but I just put unbranded. And one thing about Bonanza, you got to be very thorough when it comes to this. All right. Girls toy, NPN. I just put no assets on there. Okay. And I'm sure I was selling this for $17.85. So that seems about right. I'll probably just do $3. Add an extra few dollars on there. $3 profit goal. shipping, product description, boom. All right. Also, quick note, if you're going to use the ALC and your supplier is Walmart, make sure you read through the descriptions and take out that part right there, because you don't want to leave Walmart in there. Otherwise, the customer's going to go to Walmart and get it from them instead of you. All right. Order from my store and you will receive a $200 gift card for free. All right, some more asterisks there. I'll probably go ahead and bold it, and may takes, let's see, where's my I guess it's right there. I guess I'll do. So you see what I did right there? All right, make sure that is bold. So when they're going through my Bonanza store, they're going through my Amazon store, and they're looking up at the details and stuff, that's going to catch their eye. That is going to catch their eye, and it's going to be a very high percentage that they're going to order from me versus my competition. Does that make sense? All right. So go ahead, include that. Next. Oh, I should have previewed. All right. See, so when they go to my store and they see that, it's going to look very nice. And then boom, order from my store, you receive a $200 travel gift card for free. All right. So, and guess what? When they order from me, I'm going to have everything. I'm going to have their address and all this other stuff. Okay. I just highly recommend that. Obviously, you know, you make you a nice little spreadsheet. Let me go ahead and hide this. I got a couple people on here that want to put their information out there or whatnot. You know, we already have all the spreadsheets, so you can keep track as far as, you know, who's who and where you give the information to or whatnot. Some customers, you know, if they add me on Facebook, obviously, you know, I can actually, you know, send it to them via Facebook, or I can mail them the card because I have a account with USPS, which I could get cheap stamps and things and all this other stuff. You know, I mean, I'm just offering a lot of value. Not only the customer's going to have a good price with my, you know, a great price with my my products on an e-commerce tip. Now I've added even more value by showing them an appreciation gift, and they can use it for, you know, for their travel expenses and stuff like that. All right. Now just imagine if you are having a whole bunch of these sales that you got coming in through eBay, whole bunch of sales that you got coming through Amazon, whole bunch of sales you got coming from Bonanza and the Marketplace and Shopify or what have you. And then, you know, sooner or later, yeah, you're going to need some help to try and mail up all these darn cars out. Okay. But if you have, like the video said, 100, 500, 1,000 cars in circulation, you know, think of the potential income that is going to grab along with that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So that's one of, so that is our IBM Tactic. Been using it for a while. I mean, people are really loving it. I have other people who are using it, and they're getting even more sales. They're getting more people sign up in their Infinii business. Using these incentive-based marketing techniques. All right. And they're really loving it. Okay. They're really loving it. All right. So I do have a special for those people who who's part of the Infinii and they're using the IBM and they're part of the IBM project. I have a secret, and I've never shared this. And I usually kept this to myself, you know, and I have a lot of other stuff I haven't shared yet, you know, with you guys, you know, about, you know, things that I do and things that I use, you know, to make myself very successful along with Infinii. I try to get you guys to make sure that you understand, you know, the Flintstone bedrock of what we got here going on here with Infinii before I move you on over to George Jetson and Jane and, you know, and the dog Astro and stuff like that. Okay, we got to learn how to make sure we could drive with our feet before we learn how to fly through the sky with our cars. All right. So again, if you're part of the IBM project, you know, get at me so I can give you that secret squirrel vendors, one of the vendors that I use for drop shipping and also for FBA. I use them, especially when it's during back to school season, and I racked up big time. I believe I put a post in the group about how much money I made like in a single week, you know, in sales. It was just crazy. All right. From using that vendor. All right. So if you want to know more about this or whatever case it is, get with your sponsor so you get access to the card. And if you want to implement this with your Infinii business, so for every sale that you get from eBay, every sale that you get from Amazon, every sale you get from Bonanza and Shopify, e-commerce or whatever case it is, guess what? You can extend your profit margin from $5, $10, $20, $50, and you might as well add an additional $100 on top of that. Okay, so with that being said, all right, let's see what time is it? Almost 8 minutes to 10 o'clock. Okay, that leaves about 2 hours for the gym. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much, I'm gonna make sure I didn't leave out anything. That is pretty much what all I have to share at this moment. January 15th, partners only training, which we'll be launching the call center and also launching, fulfilling those leads to, to have the call center call your leads and give you more signups with your Infinii business. Along with that, that's been a long-awaited thing. Again, the reason I've been kind of, put in the background because I got to get this home office set up first, so I could be very more productive. It's only so much. Laptops are good, but I'm going to share pictures with you guys about how it looks when it finished. But it's going to be like, I'm like, what's his name, Tank from the Matrix. Okay, I want to have these screens everywhere because I want to have no problem, Sherry. Because I want to make sure I'm multitasking and I'm being very productive and efficient. All right, that's very key. I'm being productive and efficient about what I'm doing. So one screen is going to handle my trades with Signal Forge, which is an Infinii product. Yes, Infinii does Forex. All right, another screen going to be handling my e-commerce business, and the other screen is going to be for miscellaneous stuff, etc. So I'll be able to swap screens and do things in Proficient instead of me alt tabbing and closing this tab and closing that tab and stuff like that. I say, you know what? Things got to get bigger. I need a bigger space. All right. So no more, kitchen background. I want to have it the corner green screen. So I'm going to have the nice little backdrop with the green screen. Probably have, with the Infinii logo in the back while I'm doing trainings. I'm going to do more. I'm going to start getting more into the video marketing scene like I used to do back in the day. All right. And helping you guys win, not only giving, sharing tips with e-commerce. And I'm probably going to be very lenient about sharing what I'll share on, especially on the e-commerce tips, because I'm running into a couple issues that people are taking some of my tips and tricks and selling it. Okay, selling it to other people. All right, I'm like, goodness gracious, that's plagiarism to the highest power, right? I don't even get no royalties off of that or whatnot. Okay, but so I'm gonna be watching what I do and what I say, and that's why for ladies and gentlemen, I mean, some of you like, okay, what is this purging stuff? Why is Chris like say purge in 10 days and 2 days? That is one of the reasons why I do it. Okay, because when people are inactive, they try to skate uphill and try to take the things that I learned and try to charge other people to do it, and et cetera, et cetera. So to avoid the mess or whatever case it is, that's why I put those things into place, into action. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, everything's fine. I mean, we're doing big things, Jeremiah. You just got to catch up. Got to catch up. I'm going to be doing things a lot different. This year, myself speaking, I'm going to be automating a lot of things as far as where my time is being spent on and things like that. For those who don't know, and I mentioned this last time, I have a grandmother here who's battling a terminal illness, and I'm only one of the few family members she has that's living here with Chicagoland. So I have to, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm being a coach, online coach, a work from home coach. Being a father, and I got to become, the transporter, if you will, with that. So I'm making my life more automated, so I can do a lot more things, all at once, and be very proficient, not only for myself, but also to help those of you who are in need. All right. Again, for those who are new and about me, one thing about me is that, I'm a very direct person. I tell people, I always want people to succeed. I will be on you like white on rice while drinking milk during a snowstorm. But the reason I'm that way is because I want to see the best out of you. All right. Like Les Brown say, there are greatness in you, in each and every one of you. All right. Just follow my 3 core values. All I want is be coachable, take massive action, and stay in communication. All right. You do that, the world is yours. Okay, you do that, the world is yours. All right. So with that being said, everybody, it is 3 minutes till 10 o'clock here in Central, 11 o'clock out there Eastern. Okay, it is, what is today? Wednesday? Yes, today's Wednesday. Sunday, everybody who's been making sales, send in your update numbers so I can create some promotion banners for you. Again, congratulations to each and everybody who's been promoted. All right. And again, like I said, we have a lot of great things going along. You know, even my man Jeff, you know, from Top Team, you know, he's loving the IBM program. You know, he's like, man, Chris, he got some things in the works that is going to be huge, especially from a marketing standpoint, like mobile marketing and follow-ups and follow-throughs. You know, that's going to be the next level. Okay, when you start talking about mobile marketing for customers, Infinii's got some other things going on. The auto order feature should be in place within this quarter. All right, that means that once a customer, I mean, that was what I was really waiting for. The auto order feature is that when a customer buys something from you from your Amazon store or eBay store, it orders and ships it out automatically. You don't have to do anything. Okay, so some people may ask, well, what is the difference between what Infinii has to offer versus them doing themselves and stuff like that? Automation. That's it in a nutshell. Automation. Okay, automation. All right, you don't have to do so much depending on what membership you're on. You don't have to micromanage it as much as you did it manually versus going through the Infinii system to go ahead and do things. All right, so with that being said, I am about to go and get out in this team weather and throw some iron a couple bit. Okay, I thank each and every one of you for joining me. All right, again, you know, if you want to take part of the IBM project with the Good Life, make sure you get in contact with your sponsor. And then we'll make sure you guys get placed in from there. Again, it's a great tool, great tool. So glad that I implemented it, and sales is going good. And plus, I just added the extra $100 to the profit margins that we have here using the Infinii training. So with that being said, guys, 10 o'clock, signing off. Thank you for joining. This is recorded and it will be in the group chats only. All right. So if you have any questions or whatsoever, feel free to hit me up. All right, and I answer them accordingly. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next time. Take care.